Do you guys want to learn how to make animations super quickly? Well, I'm going to show you how. I've actually gotten a lot of questions about some of my animations, about why my characters bounce so much, and in this video, you'll find out why. It's just a little technique that I like to use that's helps me make animations that look good, or at least I think they look good, but I don't have to, take weeks and weeks and weeks to make an animation. So for this one, let's just draw a little guy. Let's draw maybe like a little alien character. I don't know. Give him some antennas. Maybe his body could just be a little ball. I drew his head a little bit too big. Shrink him down. Or at least raise him up a little bit. Give him a little body, little legs, and yeah, so I want to change his arms for this. So for this in Procreate, I'm going to go ahead and make another layer inside this one. Here's little arms. And I'm going to have it so right here, I'm going to split that frame. I'm going to make another layer and then uncheck the other arms. And I'm going to make a new arm pose for him here. So have it so his arms go up here. He's like upset or something. Right, his arms up. After a little while, he puts his arms back down, and then finally puts his arms into, that's like on his hips. Do that. So this could work, right? For a quick animation, you don't really want to do actual animating, just have him do that. But to make it look a little bit better, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna group all these together, and then the technique that a lot of YouTube and like Newground animators use, called bounce animation. And it's where for something like this, the usual thing to do would be draw an in-between, right? So if you want that to look smoother, maybe you could do a smear frame, right? That could work, right? Something like that, that works. And then, but it still looks a little weird, so maybe you'd want to also include a frame where the overshoot, right? So you overshoot it a little bit before it falls down, right? That looks pretty good. Then you're probably going to want to also include an anticipation frame, right? Where he's kind of getting ready to shoot his arms up. So now, look at that. It's a cool, fully animated guy right there, right? But we're not here to do basic, stuff like this adds up over time, and you don't always want to have to put in all this effort when you're trying to make animations quickly. So back it up, let's get rid of all these. What if we could get a very similar look, but without having to do all those drawings? We still just keep these two drawings, right? So the way I do that on this one, go ahead and hit this little marker here, hit move to scale, and then we're gonna hit these little dots up here. No matter what program you're using, you're going to need to change the anchor point from the center to the very bottom, right there. And right when the frame changes, you're going to put a marker there. You're going to put a marker right before it. You're going to put a marker right before that one. And then you're going to put a marker at the end. And what I do is this second marker, we're going to grab the top. I'm going to push him down. That's the anticipation frame we're going to have. And the next one, that's the overshoot. So now you have this, and it kind of tricks your eye into thinking that there's an in-between there when there's not. In fact, it's only going up, right? So it kind of does the same thing that I just animated, right? Where we're still getting that anticipation frame, but it's just squashing down, and we're still getting the overshoot frame, but now it's kind of the whole body, and I just, saved a few minutes there, and then that adds up over time as I keep animating. So let's go ahead and go through these other actions, and I'm going to go ahead and add the same thing. So one frame there, one frame before, or 2 frames before, and then 1 frame at the end. Again, squash down. So actually for this one, his arms come down. So when the arms are going to come down, I want it to be the other way, right? So instead of squashing down first, I'm going to have it go up for the anticipation, and then down, squash down for the overshoot, right? And you can mess around with these. Like this doesn't, I can also push, sometimes I push this one out if I feel like it's too jittery, and sometimes I push this one out. So if I want more of an anticipation there. I don't usually go more than that, but it's up to you. Maybe your animation style, you like to have this big overshoot. I don't know what. Maybe he's sighing. That looks more like a sigh. He's like stretching. He just woke up. That could actually work. That could work. It's back, and then go ahead and do it one more time here. So from there, from there, from there, there. This is a bit of a. Usually, if the action's very subtle like that, sometimes I won't even add a bounce. But if I do, I'll make it very subtle, right? I don't know why I added so many frames here. Yeah, so he changes right here. So little bit of a bounce and overshoot, right? And this is just animation fundamentals right here that we're using. Squatch and stretch, bounce, anticipation, and follow through. We're using the fundamentals here, but we're kind of cheating. So that's what animation's all about. It's a lot of cheating, you'll find. So now we got this whole cool little guy. And that's how I make animation super quick. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments.